Well, here we are, 3 days away to the most important Federal Reserve meeting of your life. Great. 3 days till a very high percentage chance that we get rate cuts, unless Jerome Powell completely surprises everybody. But even at the Jackson Hole meeting, he was saying, well, the window's open for the possibility of blah, blah, blah. Rate cuts are coming, baby. On Wednesday, markets already starting to sell off in anticipation of the news of the rate cuts after pumping in the anticipation of the rate cuts. Markets, man. We got a lot to get into. We better get straight into this. By the way, answer your question second half of the stream, so make sure to stick around for those good times. Welcome to everybody in the chat. I see you guys there. What is up? What is up? I wanted to give a shout out to Enjoy the Surfing real quick. Sold as Injective, picked up some pump, and a great trade so far. Man, so many of those old bags that, just don't move. And then sometimes you just got to be ready to make the jump sometimes. Congratulations. Let's get into it. So, do you have a history of mental illness in your family? I have a cousin who thinks the top is in. The top is not in. The top is not in. Windy UK. John, what's up? Welcome, everybody. A divided Fed expected to settle on a 25 basis point interest rate cut on Wednesday. Now, the most contrarian take, of course, is that Jerome Powell doesn't cut. The second most contrarian take is that they cut 50 basis points, and kind of the general consensus expectation is a 25 basis point interest rate cut on Wednesday. Okay? That's what the market's looking at right now. That's what the market is currently expecting. Okay? So let's just see how it plays out here. But, oh yeah, if he doesn't do it, man, hold on to your butts. Hold on to your butts if he doesn't cut. Anyway, 25 basis points is nothing, to be honest, at this point. The markets need more than a 25 basis point cut, but then the inflation's a problem. Jerome Powell stuck between a rock and a hard place. The weakening labor markets, a cut becomes extremely likely to happen this week. So we'll be covering that story all week. Keep up to date, okay? Let's get into it. Weimar, nobody believes in this, but it's the truth. Rate cut pattern. Rate cut here, markets dump. There's everybody to lose their minds again. Dump down to 106 or something, this area of price support here, and then groove up to 135K, which is around the 1.618 Fibonacci line, taking this swing high to that swing low. Anyway, Adam Kabezi, the Fed's about to add rocket fuel to fire since 1980. 100% of Federal Reserve rate cuts with the S&P 500 at record high levels are related to more record highs in the next 12 months. Not to mention this time around, we're in the midst of AI revolution, which is barely in its second inning. I agree, Mr. Kabezi. Magnificent Seven companies alone are investing $100+ billion per quarter in CapEx. That's crazy, man. The biggest technological revolution since the internet will be met with rate cuts this week. It is rocket fire, baby. Let's go. Even if you have a short-term sell the news, because everybody's been expecting it, and then it happens, and everybody expects everybody else to sell. It is the herd mentality bullshit. If you get those kind of dips, it's probably a gift, okay? The top is almost certainly not in. Famous last words. Lark, don't talk like that. Only a sis speaks in absolutes. Anyway, continuing. Crypto Insight UK. If crypto pumps through this, it's crazy season. That's a response to Trump trying to strong hand all the NATO countries to put huge tariffs, sanction penalties essentially on China for daring to buy Russian oil. It's a complicated situation, man. But if that happens, expect turmoil in markets. Markets are not going to like that kind of bullshit if they actually end up agreeing to that. Bitcoin right here. That's the that beautiful Fibonacci I was telling you about from the swing high to the swing low. Targets 135 for the next major move up. Now, we had a few beautiful days of price action. Pullbacks are natural, normal, and necessary, okay? If we pull back to around 100 and let's say 113K, maybe, or more importantly, that'd be the 382 line, the Fibonacci there. I think more importantly, look for really just like a 113 sort of solid move here, wick down there. That's around the 20 and 50-day EMAs. If that plays out, let's see, that would also line up with that right there. A new uptrend forming up. So during an uptrend, you'll see it's happened many times. Price breaks out, hits a crescendo, pulls back to the uptrend support line, 20-day EMA, before doing it again and again and again until we get up to an inevitable price level where we have a much deeper correction than that. Anyway, that's where we are for Bitcoin currently. MACD slowing down a little bit, but as a reminder, we just came out from under the zero line here. So, you know, that's to be expected. It's normal. You'll have that kind of stuff happening. Look back here. You see MACD chilled out for a few days, went flat, and then burst higher. So all pretty normal stuff. Bit of price volatility into the Fed meeting is nothing crazy, to be honest. Now, guys, quick updates here for you. Pengu trade still open. Solana trade still open. Might put in some bids for $113,000 Bitcoin. You know, I had a Bitcoin trade open, but it got stopped out by pennies. That was like a week ago or something like that. And of course, it rips higher after that. Classic situation. Anyway, if you want to join me trading over on BitUnix, it's never been a better time to sign up, guys. Crazy deals. Okay, we'll get the crazy deal in a second, but no KYC, no VPN, no BS. It's literally available to anyone, anywhere, which is you. So if you want to trade, have some great deep liquidity, all the big coins, BitUnix has got you covered, guys. And here's the deal: when you sign up to, you know, trade all these altcoins, long rips, short dips, all that kind of stuff, guess what? You'll go straight to VIP level 3 as a trial. That's 30% fee discount. You'll get $400 deposit bonuses after you deposit $400 deposit $2,000 or more. You get $400 back, 20% deposit bonus for about $2,000 exactly. Huge trading bonuses. You see all these huge trading bonuses there. We're giving away $1,000 every live stream. Today's live stream means just money giveaway. Let's do it. So we currently have 809 people on the list, potentially in for a giveaway. Let's ask Grok to take 5 minutes here to think about a possible answer. Who's going to get the free money day? Does not feel like altcoin season. Gosh, it really doesn't. Oh, Grok was fast today. Look at that. 540 and 6. Wow. Look at that. All right. 540. Where are we at here? This guy. Oh my gosh. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Put in $14, man. This dude here put in $14. He's got $500. Of course, that's your user ID over there. Obviously, again, we're not sharing email addresses to preserve people's privacy. So you need to go and check your user ID. This will be put in the next 24 hours. It's a spreadsheet. Everything's being done manually here, but check back if that's you. If you're the winner, if you're 615-473194, user ID number, you just got $500, man. Congratulations. So that's 540 there and 6. Number 6. Look at this. You get so many chances. The earlier you get in, the more chance. We still have 2 weeks going for this. Look at this guy. He put in $100. Beautiful. This dude put in $102. What did he get back? $500. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you very much. You're the man. Appreciate you hanging out. Love seeing you guys here. Congratulations to today's winners. Okay. Now, let's get on to this. So the altcoin season indicator. Bull trap, says Leaf. Look, the altcoin season indicator is a very interesting one. Last time we had this indicator flash, it lasted for just a couple days. That was back in early December. AI agents were hot. We ran, was it AI 16Z and Cerebro from tens of millions to billions and then didn't sell any and watched it all round trip. It was a great time. Anyway, that only lasted for a few days. Flash in the pan. In fact, the last moves into the altcoin season index have largely been very, very short-lived. The January 24 was very short-lived. August 22, I mean, that was a special time in the markets. There wasn't really an altcoin season. It was kind of a, I don't know, whatever the hell that was. Here's the big one that everybody keeps talking about. You guys ever see that meme? The lady's laying there and, you know, there's someone buried below there. And it's like, yeah, altcoin season 2021. We still talk about you. This was the big one. It lasted from March until June. 3 months of massive altcoin outperformance. Massive altcoin outperformance. It was crazy times, man. That's not happening right now. But that's the hope, is that we got the conditions setting up for a huge moment of altcoin outperformance. Let's see. Last time we got disappointed. Time before that, we got disappointed time. And then that one too. Lots of disappointment in altcoins, as you've probably noticed. And it pays more than ever to be highly selective with which altcoins you're buying, because a lot of them are just absolutely garbage dumpster fire stuff and have no reason to exist, and they're just governance tokens. No one gives a shit about governing these protocols except for the VCs who keep cashing out for millions in everyone's heads. Like, problematic. Okay, Not many of these coins have any real demand, and it's very, very speculative stuff. Like robotics is starting to pop back now, for example, and people are getting all excited about robotics on chain. And there's some interesting areas where like robotics and AI and blockchain can come together, but man, it's super niche, right? And maybe that takes off super big, and like I'll massively regret selling my Alki bags, even though we are up just as much on our pumped up fun bags right now. But that's a different story. But anyway, altcoins are heating up right now. Altcoins are heating up. Now, is that a warning? Time to take some profits off the table? Hard to say. If we're getting a big altcoin impulse, then no, it's just the start of something bigger. We'll see. It's not a perfect indicator, that one. It's kind of just a broad sentiment indicator, if you will. We posted this the other day. The others chart is breaking out an ascending triangle. Last time this exact setup played out, alt ripped nearly 90%. That was back at the end of last year. Timing could be better. Rate cuts coming in. Liquidity about to pour in. Let's go. Let's go, guys. Just remember, too, in case you were not around in 2020, or in case the years of being kicked in the balls by the market has made you forget, don't forget. Remember the dream. Look at this. Dogecoin went 800% in a single day. A single day back in 2021, man. Those were crazy times, okay? Those times will come again. Anybody who says, well, people are never going to come back and invest in crypto. They're all doing options trading on stocks now. When this casino heats up and people start making life-changing money doing stupid shit again, people are going to come back, okay? They're going to come back and buy monkey pictures for $500,000. That's what people do, okay? Ethereum coming back down to a zone of very interesting zone right now. So see, this is the previous resistance zone right here. It's came back down to tap the top of that. I would not be surprised to see a 20-day EMA retest at 44.50. That'd be fine, cool, and normal. Okay, fine, cool, and normal if it plays out. The 90% for the others chart here, by the way. Where was that? Here. The 90% for the others chart. I mean, look, it's just what happened last time. Past performance not equal future performance. Investing in crypto is risky. You can lose all your money. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. Risk disclosures and portfolio disclosures, as always, right down here in the YouTube description or the pin coming over next. Now, all that being said, look, the last time it happened, it lasted a few weeks. Will it pump that much? Will it last that long this time? If we get a perfect repeat, then okay, it breaks out and it pumps from here until November or something like that, and everything goes up 90% perfectly. It's not going to work out like that. It's more of just take a look at this and see broadly what happened. When you have this kind of momentum build up, this sort of compression period, the spring out from that tends to be pretty dramatic. So will that be a 30% impulse, a 50% impulse, 120% impulse? Nobody can know for certain, right? We can have our predictions. We can throw Fibonacci's on that, for example, and get some broad ideas of where we could go. How long it takes to get there, of course, is anybody's guess. But yeah, that's sort of the broad trend of it's likely to go up by a certain amount. How much? Who knows? XRP coming back down as well here to an area of price interest, right back down to 20-day EMA. Remember, if you believe this is a new uptrend starting, this is not all just a fake out. We're all about to screwed by Jerome Powell again. Pango to the moon, man of steel, I agree. Pango to the moon. We'll look at charts here in a minute. If Jerome Powell does not royally screw us this week and actually give us a rate cut, then maybe we get a little sell of news. It's fine. As long as these 20-day EMAs broadly hold here in the market, you have an uptrend on your hands, and 20-day EMA retests are dips for buying, okay? Same here with Ethereum. If we get back down to 44.50, probably an interesting spot to put in some longs before we take off to 5K plus. Holy F, this company alone bought more than $432 million in Solana in just the last 24 hours. I still have $1.2 billion to deploy. That is the Forward Industries. This company raised $1.65 billion to buy Solana. They're buying up off the open market. Okay, great. So them buying that moved the price from 220 to 240. And they still have $1.2 billion to deploy. And they're not the only one. They're not the only one. There are other digital asset treasury companies too. Okay. Pew pew. Ask your question again in the quick Q&A session. Okay, we're got a few more charts to get through here, and then we'll get into those. Okay, try and finish up the next 5 minutes or so we have plenty of time for your questions. Okay. Anyway, Solana. If we pull back to this line right here, this uptrend line, it's about 222 approximately. Plus, that's where the 20-day EMA is going to approximately come in at. Then probably a great entry to relong. That'd be a very technically bullish thing. Breakout, retest, move higher. Okay, so if you missed the initial breakout, watch for 222 in the 20-day EMA. Okay, so far Solana's been very much respecting the 20-day EMA on this trend up. Sometimes it's a bit messier than others, as you can see back here in mid-August, for example, but that should be the approximate zone to be keeping an eye on here. Okay, hype pulling back. Is this going to play out? Are we going to get it? Come back down to 50 bucks, 20-day EMA retest? Let's see. Let's see. That's probably an interesting spot for an entry if you get it. Ideally, come back down a little bit lower, but we'll see. One of the strongest assets in the cycle right now. Derivatives, Monkey, $600 million being earned and distributed annually to pump holders with a market cap of only $2 billion, about $3 billion. Now, fastest growing company in the world that only went public 2 months ago is trading at PE of only 3. It's like holding Apple shares in 1980. That's some bullish propaganda right there. I love it. These guys, and no endorsement of any creator coins here, just FYI, but the fact that these creator coins, and in case you haven't noticed, people like Bagworks or Streamer Coin and a few of these other ones have absolutely gone crazy. Huge gains being put in by some of these coins. The creators themselves are earning shit tons of money. So this will bring in more creators. More creators will see us and go, I should hop on the train. A lot of, sort of normie creators will come over to Pump Fun and make money, because why the hell not? So the more this stuff goes viral, the more people come over to Pump Fun, the more revenue Pump Fun does. It's crazy, but Pump Fun's probably going to be one of the most breakout apps to dig into normie land of the cycle, at least. Because how many people are going to come over and stream on Pump Fun, right? It's already been the biggest casino. But now, got all the streaming stuff going on. How many normie creators are going to come over here and try to make it rich? A lot. Let me tell you, an effing lot. Pump is coded. I know. Pump to the moon. Let's go. Let's go. Whale Guru say, I'm too late to pump. No, you're not. It's 1% of Twitch's size, 50% of Twitch's revenue, and just 5% of Twitch's market cap. So if the revenue was to equal market cap, you'd still expect about a 10x from here. Okay, with a lot more room left to grow. The incentives are so insanely good for creators to come over and stream on Pump Fun. And the more we have viral clips of people making shit tons of money on Pump Fun, the more creators are going to come over, which will bring in more creators, which will bring in more fees, which will bring to more buybacks, which will pump the token even more. Pump to the moon. Long TLDR. Pump to the moon. They're going to rug everyone before it ends. You watch. They're making too much money to rug everybody. Doesn't make any sense. Pump absolutely went bonkers, crazy zone over the weekend, man. I remember buying down here just the other day. It felt good. Can we get some of those prices back again, man? That'd be great. Anyway, breathe, Lark. Namaste. Okay, look, crazy pump over the weekend here, up well over 100% on my biggest pump buys, but I've been adding right up through this sort of zone here. My last buys were right around here somewhere. So it's been a pretty crazy ride. Absolutely pumped over the weekend. And to be honest, even at the $3 billion market cap currently, don't know. You're always too late, says Unimposing. So if you're talking about the pump play, I think that's a pretty decent price. I mean, okay, fine. I didn't buy it, 0.0025 cents. If you did, congratulations. My hat off to you, sir. I got in here. It's not too late. It's fine. Anyway, besides the point, even at $3 billion, pretty undervalued. The fact that it's doing as much revenue and buybacks as Hyperliquid is right now, but it's still at 1/5 the market cap. And Hyperliquid goes higher too. That's the thing. Anyway, continuing. The overall meme market cap is up 15% this week, 77 billion. It's crazy. All the memes together, only $77 billion, way effing higher. Penguin Express is 868,000 holders with over the coin burn happened a while ago. 868,000 holders. That's great. Pengu chart looks like this. 20-day EMA retest coming into play here. I would not be surprised to see it pull back to the 50-day EMA if we get more volatility around what's going on here with the Fed this week. So that might spook markets even more. As long as we hold above that top orange line here, I think Pengu will rip much higher. Dogecoin, man, look at that. Guys, we were pointing out the other day at 23 cents saying a great chance to go long here on Dogecoin. Now, I did not, unfortunately, because my futures accounts are basically fully deployed and mostly locked up in a big Solana and a big Ethereum trade. Should have closed out my XRP trade, gone into Doge instead. I might still close up my XRP trade. I don't know. We'll see. It's in big profits right now. It's doing good, but just I don't know. That would have been a pretty killer move to catch anyway. Besides the point, didn't catch it. It's fine. But as I was calling the other day, watch for this 23-cent breakout. I had a 33% move from that point. Yes, it's pulling back now. Watch for a 20-day EMA retest. And this also you can see here 1, 2, 3, 4 times when this area right around 24.5 cents approximately acted as price resistance, likely to turn into price support on the way back down, which will largely coincide with where the 20-day EMA would likely be coming in at. So bids around sort of 24.5 to 25 cents. Probably an interesting spot to reload a clip on Doge if you missed that initial move up. Now, I'm not as excited about Doge volatility-wise, and it's been a great trade breakout from that chart pattern there. But I think there's probably a lot of other better memes out there to be spending time and energy on. Pepe, for example, much lower market cap compared to Doge. Sitting in this big fat triangle here right now. Oh, it's been a real teaser. I did buy some more Pepe over the weekend. Not a lot. I had like, I don't know, 2% to my bag or something like that, 3% to my bag. Nothing crazy, but I had a bit more. I'm looking at this chart right here and going, gosh darn. When this thing rips, it's going to rip super hard, isn't it? Because the implied price target here, the implied, missed the thing again. The implied price target here is just basically way F and higher, 0.00006 approximately. So, or to put that another way, an almost 400% price move. Now, will that happen? Will it rage from 4 billion to 16 billion? It just might. Dream bigger, friends. Remember, Dogecoin went up 800% in one day last cycle. One day. Okay? Anyway. That's that. Get your red light hats on, guys. Let's hit it. MJ, what's up, man? Nice to see you. I'm dumb for holding my Popcat bag. Popcat is probably one of the better cat memes. Popcat, Toshi, maybe if you're a big bass fan. I don't know. I've just been doing more and more stuff on Solana over the last year. And I just been investing more and more in the Solana ecosystem too. Anyway, besides the point. Popcat, I think, is a decent cat meme coin if you like those devil animals. But overall, I think that Popcat's got a future, man. As a meme, it's listed on all the big exchanges. It's got good volume. I wouldn't count it down and out by any means. I don't have a Popcat bag, by the way. I've traded it before with varying levels of success. Let's bring up the chart here. Have a look at it for you. Popcat. It's a cat that pops. Popcat. Oh, chart is not looking super fantastic right now, buddy. Andre, have a look at this. Popcat's got a lot of work to do. There's a few charts that look kind of like this. They've kind of, basically in a pretty broad downtrend here. So we had the lower low, lower high, lower low. You really need to get a strong breakout coming in here. And unfortunately, it's quite a ways away from that happening. So, and we're not even talking about the bigger downtrend here. If you draw a line down across like that, I mean, we got some work to do here, Now, maybe you can say that this was a fake out back here, and this is the line of lines to be watching. I mean, it's a pretty big valley there, to be honest. But if you were to look at that and say, okay, well, this was a breakout attempt here. Well, you know what? Maybe there's something there, okay? let's get back over the 50-day EMA. Let's get the EMA stacked back in the right direction if we're looking for a trade on this. Again, it probably bounces back at some point, but the meme cat market has also been more diluted than it's ever been before. And if your coin's not getting the mind share and stuff like that, like look at the mind share Pump's getting. Fart coin, look at the mind share Fart coin gets, you know. Anyway, been holding on to my butt for weeks. Can you recommend a cream for chafing? Just put a bit of Vaseline in there, man. So when Jerome gets ready to take you down later on this week, you're already lubed up and ready to go. Anyway, here's my question. Serious things now. With Stripe and Google making their own blockchain, does this mean TradFi is going to try to come in and steal all future altcoin seasons? What does it mean for our future? Great question. The rise of corporate blockchains is certainly going to worry some people, but I don't really see it as a big problem. Think about it like this. A lot of companies have built stuff on the internet, right? But the internet itself as a broad technology has taken off massively. So they're all utilizing the blockchain technology, right? It has not diminished the value of early adopters of that technology necessarily, okay? Now look, will it somewhat eat into some of the market share of some of these other blockchains? Sure. And is that maybe a shot over the bow for some of these smaller layer ones? Yes. Is that a threat to Ethereum and Solana and a few of the other big ones? No, not really. I don't think that's a problem. In fact, these guys coming in and making their own blockchains for payments and stuff like that and stable coins is actually a net positive because it brings in more users, more liquidity. There's going to be bridges back and so the Stripe blockchain. Okay, Stripe blockchain, what are they going to do? They're going to have their own stable coin, or they're going to work with guys over USDC to run USDC across the Stripe blockchain for payments. And then when people will get their payments from selling, I don't know, Labubu dolls or whatever, and they want to go and gamble on some dog coins, well, guess what? They have to bridge it over to Solana. So more money is now in the system that wouldn't have been there previously because of the Stripe blockchain. The rising tide that lifts all boats. So I'm not bearish on the crypto corporate blockchain. I'm not super bullish on them either, but I think that they are going to add just more liquidity to the space overall. Perhaps it's bearish for some of the smaller layer ones who just have been struggling to make it. I would not be surprised with that. Okay. Something code fork of Dogecoin. No, we don't need that. We don't need that. Unnecessary. Can Cerebro come back? Man, I wrote Cerebro off a long time ago. I have no idea if it comes back or not, but after it started posting a whole bunch of just racist diarrhea and the dev pretended to kill himself, I guess. I mean, who the hell would buy Cerebro these days? That's what I'm thinking, man. Took a loss on that. I'd rather take a loss than remain in that that thing, man. Just what a pile of crap. Will it pump at some point? I don't know, man. Probably, because markets are stupid. Shouldn't. If markets had any kind of sense, they would just go to zero and be forgotten about. It was a good experiment. I liked Cerebro. I think the early days of Cerebro were exciting. They were doing cool shit, man. And then they fucked it all up. It's like, okay, yeah, the price went down and, you know, whales started getting pissed off that the dev wasn't doing more. I don't know, man, but maybe they have some big comeback arc, but it just, you know, with so many things out there, it just does not attract my money. It won't attract my money again. We rode that horse one time. Sometimes when you ride a horse, you just got to take it out back and shoot it afterwards. What my grandpas used to say. Okay? You know, anyway, you know, like I'm saying, guys, right? You know what I'm saying? Anyway. We're all lubed up, Rose. I've got some stakes, Solana. Any idea when I should be thinking about staking? It depends on where your stake's at, but I mean, I had mine staking on Marinade for a while, and it was like a 3-day unstake. I mean, I don't know what the unstake period is where you're staking it at, but certainly if you start thinking about like, gosh, I should probably take some money out of the market or should do it soon, then unstake or unstake some of it. You don't have to, doesn't have to be 100%. People always get this confused. It's got to be 100% in or 100% out all the time. Unstake a little bit. You know, take a little bit off the table if you want. Nothing wrong with that. Brett. The Cerebro creator came back from the dead. The amount of bullshit that guy's pulled, I swear to God. Again, same reason I ducked out of AI16Z, not because I think they have got a great tech product, but the amount of bullshit from the dev, you know what? Just so many better teams out here in the crypto space, to be honest, man. Don't need to ride those crazy trains. Brett, here we go. Check this out. Brett, now, this is a random 50% drop put on there. I was actually thinking about just, you see this for me up here. I was thinking about, Brett, it's got to bounce back at some point, right? So I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, maybe just put in like a cheeky little 2x long or something on Brett and just no stop loss, let it sit there. But then some bullshit will happen, and just I just struggle to play the game like that. Anyway, gotta put the stop loss in, man. But look, Brett looks a lot like quite a few other coins. It's got a nice big triangle forming up here. If it breaks to the upside, it's going to be a pretty significant move here for Brett. Currently sitting right around key EMAs. If you get a downside test here around 4.4 cents, probably an interesting spot to go along. It's not the strongest uptrend support here, mind you, but it is an uptrend support currently. So let's see how it plays out. By the way, the implied price target here for a breakout, whenever it happens, around 14 cents. So we're talking a pretty big move, potentially brewing here for Brett. That's why I'm thinking like, nice low leverage, 2x, 3x long, maybe with a very generous stop loss, put in enough that, be willing to lose half my capital in the trade or something like that. Maybe not all the capital. Anyway, Start Coin. Just too many layer twos, man. And I'm not into these layer two governance tokens. I know technically you can use Start Coin to pay your fees on StarkNet chain, but I am just, whether it's Arbitrum, Optimism, Linea, Start Coin, whatever else, I'm not interested in any of the layer two governance tokens. Aren't they both going to just be private and not public blockchains anyway? Well, even if they're a private blockchain, doesn't mean liquidity stays blocked. But if they are just completely private blockchains where they're just, I haven't read a lot about them, poop and soup. So forgive me for any lack of knowledge I may have. I just kind of looked at the stories like, it's not a big deal. But if they are completely private, walled gardens that have no way for money to come in and out, then still not really then really no threat to crypto, because people are going to continue building on open public networks, right? And if you can't get liquidity off your Stripe chain, so essentially Stripe's just going to be using their own blockchain for payments in the back end to make things more efficient and profitable for them. It's not a problem. Lark, can you answer this question? Why would you use Ethereum layer 2s with their centralized sequencers when Cadena has proof of work layer 1 chain web EVM? Adam, the answer is incredibly simple, because nobody uses Cadena for really anything. I know there's don't get me wrong, I know there's something built on it and some people are doing something there. It's not the point. If you want to do cool shit, you go over to Base. You go over to Arbitrum, okay? Where all the stuff's happening. Some things happening on Linea. I don't know if anybody uses ZK Sync anymore. I don't know, but there was some stuff happening on layer 2s, like particularly on Base, right? There's a lot of stuff happening over there. A lot of builders, a lot of devs showing up, a lot of users showing up, millions of users, all kinds of meme coins, all kinds of DeFi, AI agents, all that kind of shit. I have not heard anybody talk about Cadena in an extremely long time because no one gives a shit about it. Now, again, I know there's a niche community of people who are like, this is the new paradigm of money. It's going to go to the moon, and when everything pumps, it'll probably pump too. But people don't really care about the trade-offs. Say, yeah, okay, there's centralized sequencers. Nobody cares. Nobody cares, man. People are making money. They're having a good time. I know what you're thinking. What has become a crypto? Well, that's just more of what it's always been. People want to make money. And if they're going to make money using Base and gambling on AI agents, meme coins, and all that shit over there, that's what they're going to do. More power to them. If Cadena has good products and good things that people want to do, then those should be being talked about. And the fact that I don't hear anybody talking about meme coins on Cadena or DeFi products on Cadena or any of that kind of stuff shows that they've lost the mind share battle. Doesn't, at this point, great. I'm happy they've got good tech. Yeah, proof of work, layer 1, fantastic, EVM compatible, all this great shit. Nobody cares. nice community, niche community people. I know you care, Adam, and I want your bags to do well, man. I'm praying for your bags, brother. I want to go to the moon. I want you to make shit tons of money. But that's why people use Ethereum layer 2s, because that's where the game's at. That's where things are happening. Change the channel's name to Meme Coin Casino. Look, you can hate on meme coins all you want, and I know a lot of people hate on meme coins like a full-time job. I get it. But the fact of the matter is that meme coins have been some of the best returning assets, you can call them that, things to throw your money at in the market, okay? I know the vast majority of them absolute dumpster fire garbage. I get it. Oh, I get it. Don't get me wrong. But you want to trade things that have high volatility? Who the fuck cares? Trade memes. Have a good time, you know? Oh, one or two more here, guys. And is Caspa dead? No, Caspa's not dead. Just had its moment in the sun, and it'll probably pump again when everything liquidity more broadly rises. But just never got excited about Caspa. I know there's these people who are like, "Yes, Caspa." I'm like, Caspa. Guys, I literally got 10x in a stock last week. Isn't that crazy? And this is part of the thing too. This cycle is that. Where's all the retail buyers? Well, they're buying stocks and making money and buying parts of real companies, even if those companies don't necessarily have long-term growth plans. It doesn't really matter. People are making money in stocks right now. And, you know, crypto's burnt a lot of people. And they've been a little bit shyer to come back in the same way that some of us hardcore crypto degens have just kind of stuck around through all the bullshit. Pump fund, where is it at? Pump fund coin prediction way higher. I mean, look, it depends on the broader sort of risk-on nature of the market itself, but it's one of the most adopted, most used, highest revenue apps, currently sitting at a $3 billion circulating valuation. I think it goes way higher. 10x from here. I mean, good God, guys. Cardano's at $30 billion and nobody uses it. Pump fund, the most used, most talked about app that's bringing in Web2 creators all over the place. Can't go another 10x. Dream bigger. Okay. Cardano went to $100 billion last cycle. It didn't even have smart contracts yet. Pump fund can go way higher, but it really depends on how crazy the risk on season gets. 2021 was a very special time. Will we get a special time like that again? Well, I think the cycle is going to go a lot longer and higher and crazier than people think. Maybe I'll prove them wrong on that, but this has been my idea for a while. Mr. Hazan, I used to feel like meme coins were a slight against real projects, but nothing could be farther from the truth. Amen. Amen. Amen to that, man. This is the thing, is when you realize, when you kind of have this like moment, you know, did you guys ever see the old movie? I can't remember what it's called. The guy puts on the glasses and he sees people are aliens, all signs are like saying like buy and obey and shit like that. Great movie. Sometimes you feel like put those glasses on, like crypto's all gonna be super serious, and you put it on like, oh, it's all bullshit anyway. Most of it's bullshit anyway. We got a few very serious coins up at the top, you know, our Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and stuff like that. But a lot of the coins are just BS, realistically. And the thing I like about meme coins is that they just remove all pretenses of trying to do anything. I mean, how many coins have I invested in where the teams are trying to do some grandiose bullshit that just never, it may as well be a fucking meme coin. The grandiose bullshit never plays out. Oh, they have all these partnerships. Nobody fucking cares. Nobody cared. Oh, you cares enough for a little pump in the market, but where are they 5 years later? They're dead and gone. Nobody talks about them anymore. Meme coins are just a little more honest about like, yeah, we don't do anything. We're not having pretense. We're not going to, you know, have any big partners that mean nothing, all this shit. Anyway. Out of butthurt on that Cardano video was hilarious. I did not read the comments on that one. Well, I peeked in for a minute, but then I was like, I got to get out of here. Moo dang, baby hippo coins back, baby. Let's go. I saw it pumping over the weekend. Man, I was thinking about it the other day too. I was like, they're gonna pump that mood. They're gonna pump that stinky dirty hippo again. And they did. They did it. They did it. Those monsters. Let me just bring up the baby hippo chart here. I haven't looked at it in a few days, actually. I was looking at the price action over the weekend. I was like, yep, of course they did. It's actually interesting. Let me have a little look here. It's actually a pretty interesting chart. Take a peek here. Nice big volume spike. I mean, I could easily see this thing having a big run again, like it did before. You can see the chart here, right? Oh. Am I going to ride this crazy train again? I don't know. I might. God damn it. Look, so this is the downtrend right here. We had the breakout on volume. Volumes died right back off, though. But now currently retesting the top of this downtrend right here. Now, obviously, if we get more volatility through the week, it's going to have a deeper correction back down to the 20 and 50-day EMAs. But you'd really, you know, from a technical perspective, you want to see a bounce like here. And a pretty quick out if you do, but I feel like it's one of those ones you don't want to have a really wide stop loss, like down to like 15 cents. But that's just brutal as a stop loss. Not really applicable for a trade. Probably better just to try to long here and get out here. And then if it fails there, then try to get back in down here. But right now at a pretty interesting spot overall, I'd say. Not potentially terrible for long, but markets are feeling a bit shaky. Maybe crypto's already absorbing some of the shock from the Fed cut, sell the news on Wednesday, and we'll recover quicker. We'll see. Okay. One more question, guys. We're going to finish up for today. Miguel, what are you asking, Miguel? Where's Miguel's question at? Miguel, where's your question? Your opinion on script coins. Skipped, SCYPT. Or those script. I have no idea what you're talking about, man. No idea what you're talking about. Sorry. Maybe maybe I'm missing something there. I join these streams just to hear like shit on Cardano. It's not my fault Cardano has terrible on-chain metrics, okay? I'm just talking facts here. Anyway. Oh, they live. Yes. Yes. Yeah, I was there. Like you show some of the charts show everything's valued. We're losing value against Bitcoin. Amen to that, man. Amen to that. Okay, guys, we're done. I'll see you back tomorrow. More good times. Go to $1,000. Thanks, guys. A bit Unix. Peace.